So what I'd like to do to begin with is just to introduce you to sets of 6. And the question is this: what makes that the right thing to be on there? Just because that's the first thing you wrote. So first impressions are lasting. But does that necessarily make them right? A friend of mine wanted me to go and see his chiropractor. I said, all right, but I walked in, and before I said, well, what's your first diagnosis? And he said, oh, I said, well, write it down. So he wrote it down. And when he finished writing it down, I said, well, what's your second? And write that one down. So I went right through to get a 6th diagnosis. In the same way that I might ask, you know, well, what's your first sense of something? And Caitlin had this lovely argument for years, which none of us are giving up on, her 5 senses, and I said, no, it's a 6th sense you want. So the thing is, what would your 6th sense be? And you don't know what it is until you've been through the first 5, because it has to be sequenced. And your 6th sense is not going to be the same as your first. So even when you start out, you know, putting an outcome statement or a goal or something like this, there's often going to be a part of you that does not want that at all. Only it doesn't get to show up. So very often when you start putting stuff on paper, your eyes can see it. So it's often in control of your head, so you know, you write that up and that's what you want. But somewhere in your guts, or in your heart, or in your breathing, or in your feet, doesn't want that. Only doesn't get a chance to be able to have a voice. So one of the nice things that the space of B holds is the ambiguity. So ambi, again, both sides. And to be able to hold both sides of an argument is, or of a statement is very important. Because very often the thing that somebody puts up as their goal is what they want, and what they actually possess is completely the opposite of that. So the opposite of what you put up as your goal is more likely to be the actual real situation of what you have at A. Because if you didn't have that at A, you wouldn't put that at B. So setting goals and things becomes a very tricky little thing, because the space in between them has all the stuff which says you're not getting it. So to examine that space in, you'd find memories and things that would be there that stop you from getting to that goal. So normally we'd say, right, let me get the first step to the goal, the second step, the third step, etc. But in a system like this, what if the goal that the person had is the wrong goal? And what if he's perfectly fine right where he is? Then having that goal is the problem. And one of the nice things we'll be learning about is we'll make the goal come to him. So that goal, he can stay right where he is. He's exactly fine. But if he's got and the goal's a problem, well, let's make the goal move. So that changes the dynamic radically. Because not everything means that you have to do something. It could be that's just the wrong goal.